because I was a model. I used to model, and I did get a lot of attention when I was at work, and she did have a little jealous streak about me. And I was like, this is my first time meeting her. I didn't know her like that because she, like I said, a lot of people came and they was new, but she found that part out about me. And it was nothing against me modeling because I wasn't, all out there doing all kinds of nasty things and nothing like that. It was just, hey, I was print modeling and doing what I do as being a professional. And I was very professional. So what was the problem? I just didn't understand it. But it was like, well, you just don't want to have, because she just get too much attention and you don't want all that. It's going to be a distraction. And I was like, wow, okay. So when I got home that day, I remember being in the kitchen that morning, right before I was about to work out. And I prayed. I prayed a prayer. I said, God, I got it. I get it. You brought me back here, and I'm at Hewlett Packard. I'm less stressed, though. I'm not as stressed as like I was working at the prison. So I am thankful for that. But at the same time, why did she do me like that? I was really in my feelings about that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about this no more. At least I have a job. At least I'm not stressed. At least I'm making better money than I was making before I left here. And I'm cool. I'm just going to let it be. Well, a few months later, the same year, she got let go. They walked her out. I don't want to say why. I did find out why they let her go. I'm not going to go there because I'm not messy like that. But she did get walked out. And then I had two people come up to me, both of them supervisors. And one used to be my supervisor from before the one I had. And he said, you need to apply for the position. I was like, I'm not doing that. Why not? I said, because I already had my interview and I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to go through all that just for y'all to tell me that I don't have the position or for it to go dead silent again. I don't want to get my hopes up high like that no more. So I decided to just not do it. Then 2 nights later, because I work on overnight, another supervisor came to me. He was like, Layla, you need to take this position. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, why not? I don't get it. And then I told him the same thing. And he wrote down the numbers of how much I was going to get paid. He said, I think you want it. Yeah. So he slid it over on the table with all that lunch, sitting at the lunch table. This time, not in my car. Because most of the time I spend a lot of time in my car. But this time I was at the table. And he said, this is what you would get paid if you go. I said, he said, if you take this position. And I was like, whoa. Are you serious? He said, I'm going to tell you something. I say, I'm not supposed to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. The job is already yours. I said, really? How is that so? He said, because they've been talking about you. They've been raving about you. The job is yours. You just got to go in for the interview and everything, and you have to do the process. You have to fill out the application. You have to do that. But they already gave you the job. They just want you to go on and fill it out. So I decided to go and do it. I'm going to tell you how much I actually took this seriously. I didn't take it seriously at all. They had my interview at 1 a.m. in the morning. I have never heard of an interview being done at that time, ever. So I didn't take it serious. I didn't think they was for real about it. So I was like, man, I'm finna go out. It was on a weekend. It was on Friday. I was like, man, I'm finna go out. I'm finna go out. I'm finna go and have a good time with my friends and stuff like that. And I went out, and I started looking at my watch, and I'm looking at my watch, and I'm saying, it's getting close to the time that they claim that I'm supposed to have an interview. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna go ahead and go. So I left from being at the club, went home, changed, got freshened up, all that, and then I went on ahead and went into the interview. And it was an actual real interview. It was another 5 panel. At this time, I was like, oh, this is real. And I was a little nervous because I knew I just came from the club, and I'm like, well, I wasn't really drinking because I was so into thought, and in my mind, I don't think I should drink. I think I should just, I was battling with myself. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? And then I was like, nah, I'm not going to drink. I'm just going to go ahead and go. And that's what happened. So when I got up and then I'm like having this interview with them, and one thing that they said to me, they started talking about the work that I did at the prison. And I was like, what does this have to do with what I'm going to be doing here? He said, you're going to be supervising people. We need to know that you can manage different personality. I said, oh, shoot. I can manage plenty personality. If I know for sure that I can survive at a penitentiary with killers and rapers and all this craziness that they had going on, I can handle this. And I got my job and I started working and I did it. And then, of course, make a long story short, they ended up closing down the factory and moving it to Mexico to outsource it for cheaper rate and all this extra stuff. I even got offered to go to Mexico to work the factory out there, but I told them no. I didn't, at that time, I just wasn't comfortable with that. So that's how I end up not being a Hewlett Packard. So I stepped out on faith, and I just showed y'all how it happened. I talked and I told you my testimony on how that happened. And when God is ready to move into your life, you don't know how He's going to do it. All He's asking you to do is take a step. Just do this one little step for me, and I do the rest. And what comes in mind is when God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. And every time I listen to the story, I read the story, I'm like, wow, I can't see myself doing